Alright, today we're going to talk about software distribution. We're going to go ahead and get rolling into this. Software and software licensing options are available through a couple different methods. One is software licensing. When you purchase a piece of software, you're going to, with that, purchase a license. That's going to give you permission to actually use the software. When you purchase the software, it's going to give you a licensing code usually on the back. This is a sample. Let's see if you can see that. There we go. Yeah, so right about here, there's a couple codes, and when I install this software, this is your all-time favorite software, Microtype, but when I install that software on the computer, I have to actually use that code. That allows the software to actually start working. It's called a single user license, and I can install it on one computer. Let me see, we're getting this going. There we go. Okay. The next version of software you can get is called a network license, and it's when you purchase a piece of software that you can use actually on all the computers, and it gives you a specific number of licenses to use. For example, in our class we use the LAN School software where I have the control over all the computers. It's actually a network license I have to buy, and I have to buy it for a certain number of computers, and so it allows me, it gets installed on either a server or solved on one main computer that hosts everything, but typically it's installed on a server, and that server pushes it out to all the various computers. So that's called a network license. You purchase that one license for a particular number of computers. There's another type of software distribution. It's called software as a service, and the thing here says it's fairly new. It's been around for a little while, but Microsoft really made this big recently with launching Office 365. What it is, it's Microsoft Office, except the whole thing is based on the web. So you use the software just like any other software, except you just log in to the Microsoft website to actually use it. But a lot of times you have to purchase a license to do that. And it's kind of like usually like for Microsoft, for example, it's $99 a year. So you have to have that license in order to be able to access the information. Some of the things you guys know about this: fixes and patches, updating and upgrading software. If there's a problem with a particular piece of software, you have to have a fix for it. Okay, that fix is called a patch. Pretty simple thing to understand. An update or a service pack, those are applied on software that you already have installed. Now, for example, Windows has service packs all the time. I'll show you an example of one here. I'm going to go and launch my properties for Windows, and I believe you can see right here, Service Pack 1 is available on Windows on this particular one. I think since then they've had 2 service packs, so this may not be 100% up to date. Don't quote me on that, but maybe on the 64 version maybe they've only had 1. So but Windows has them all the time, and usually what it is, it's when there's errors in the computer, they just kind of build all of the fixes and the patches into one big service pack, and they get it fixed up that way. Updating and upgrading software, that's how that's done. When you update your software, and I think actually the last slide may have said that. When you get an upgrade on your software, a lot of times you have to purchase the new version. For example, with Windows, for example, a lot of times if you wanted to, when Windows XP was out and people wanted to upgrade to Windows Vista, or from Vista up to Windows 7, they actually had to purchase the upgrade. So you couldn't just upgrade, and I think you guys see that a lot with various games that you have on your iPhones. When new versions come out, you have to pay the 99 cents to upgrade your software to make that happen. Alright, so web apps. Let's talk real quick about that. It's a method of distributing software, but main thing you need to think about Gmail. Gmail is actually a piece of software. You log in through any internet browser, and that's how the software is launched to you. That's how you get it, that's how you use it. Everything is contained on the web. That's really how it works. When you use software That's a web application. That's where you're getting it on the web. So a couple alternative sources of software distribution. There is something called open source, and basically that is a group of people who have come together and built this software, and it's distributed for free with no cost. It's public software. There's some we'll watch a video in class tomorrow, I'll show you, but really cool how it works. I used open source software for years to run my web development company. Number one, it was free, and number two, I was able to make the changes that I needed in the process. Freeware is something that is given away by the author, but they contain they keep the rights to it. You guys may have downloaded and used freeware before. I'm sure you probably have used shareware, where you download and then it's a pay after you given it a try. So you get your trial period, and then you pay for it after if you like it. And usually that's a good way of getting software out, because people like to try before they buy nowadays. Now, bundleware is the last topic we're going to talk about here. The bundleware is actually when you buy a computer and it has software already bundled into the purchase of that computer. That is a method of software distribution. So when you buy a Dell computer and it happens to have Microsoft Word, Windows, all that stuff already on it, well, that's called bundleware. They bundled all that software together, packaged it up with the price of the software, and then sold it to you. Okay, the last thing is that they're just checking, they're basically just talking about the responsibilities. When you buy a piece of software, you need to make sure that you have the licensing code, that it's legal, and you're personally responsible for that. The network manager, when he buys a network license, needs to make sure that they have a network code, a network authorization code to use it on the network. Believe it or not, there are people called Microsoft Police that go around and check for those codes. I've seen companies shut down and fined big time, like $50,000 per use of pirated software, which means that you're using software without a license. And so that's pretty much our wrap up on software distribution. Software piracy is an unauthorized copying of software. I know that never happens anymore, with music and things like that. That's all back in the 80s they did that. No one pirates music anymore, right? Okay, I'll see you guys in class, and have a good